Welcome back. The time now is 6:20. Friday is National Wear Red Day, and joining us now is Shannon Hilaire, who's the Communications Director for Nebraska American Heart Association. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, we've talked about this event before. I was at the Heart Ball last year. It's an amazing event, but for people who don't know why we all wear red on Friday, tell us.
Right. So National Wear Red Day kicks off American Heart Month.
Yes.
So we're super excited to have the entire state go red, which shouldn't be that hard with Nebraska colors, right? So the whole point of it is to raise awareness of women's #1 killer, which is heart disease. So many people think that heart disease is just a disease for men, and the stereotype is that it doesn't really affect women, and we just don't hear about it as much. So the Go Red for Women movement was started from that. So Friday is all about raising that awareness.
Why do you think it doesn't occur to people that that is the #1 killer for women? Because before we started working together, I think, the first thing that kind of came to my mind was some kind of cancer. But for it to be, heart disease, why do you think it doesn't occur to people?
Yeah, so nationally it is heart disease. I think a lot of people just kind of put it on the back burner and they don't really realize how many indicators there are early on, such as high blood pressure numbers, high cholesterol, not getting moving, not sleeping well, things like that can really indicate that heart disease is on the horizon for people, and we just kind of ignore those things. They're silent, so we don't really hear them as much, and the symptoms are a little bit lighter for people.
And it's amazing too, when you talk to certain people, you think that it's something that only affects older people, but there's kids in their 20s that get strokes.
Yeah, so it's 1 in 3 people are affected by heart disease and stroke, and then we have 1 in 110 babies are born with a congenital heart defect. That means they're their first entry into the world, and they're already dealing with a heart defect. And so this whole month is about spreading that awareness and explaining to people that heart disease doesn't discriminate. It can happen anywhere, anytime, to anybody. So we need to take action.
What do you think is one of the most common symptoms that people think is caused by something else, and they don't realize they need to see a doctor?
Well, another part of the Go Red for Women movement is that the things that come up that make them go, oh, something isn't right. The symptoms are a little bit different than they are in men. So jaw pain, flu-like symptoms, being just exhausted. Things that as women we're so busy taking care of everybody else and controlling so many different things that we don't really stop and say, whoa, wait a second, something isn't right with me. And it's not the typical shooting pains up the left arm, elephant on the chest feeling. They're a little bit more subtle for women sometimes, and so they get ignored.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Now, before we go, we want to let people know how they can get involved. So can you share a little bit with us on that?
Absolutely. So Friday, don your brightest red for us and post on #GoRedNE. We have a mobile billboard truck traveling the whole state, and your selfie could appear on there, and who knows what kind of awareness you can bring with just a simple wardrobe choice.
Absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much, Shannon.
Thank you for having me.
And if you would like more information on heart attack and stroke symptoms and many other resources, go to heart.org. Stay with us. We'll be right back.